embossing versus debossing, choosing the right metal finish. Ever noticed those raised or sunken marks on a metal part and wondered, how did they do that? In this video, you'll learn embossing and debossing. These two techniques leave marks and texture on flat metal sheets. Let's start with what these two really mean. Embossing is when you create a raised design on a surface. The pattern stands out, catching both light and touch. It's often used for logos, labels, decorative panels, or branding marks that need to be noticed. Debossing, on the other hand, does the opposite. It presses the design into the surface, forming a recessed or indented mark. Debossing gives a sleek, subtle appearance that feels more refined and professional. So, if embossing pushes out, debossing presses in. Both add visual and tactile appeal, but they leave very different impressions. Now that we know the difference, let's see how these finishes are made. Both embossing and debossing rely on matched dies, a male die and a female die, that sandwich the metal sheet between them. In embossing, the male die pushes the metal upward into the female die's cavity. This creates a raised area on the front side of the sheet and a matching cavity on the back. The metal stretches slightly, so the thickness stays roughly the same, but the surface gains height and shape. In debossing, it's the opposite. The female die presses down on the surface, forming an indented design. The result is a clean, pressed look with recessed features. Sometimes, both processes are combined with printing, painting, or anodizing to highlight the texture. For example, adding color to the raised or recessed areas for better contrast. Every design choice comes with benefits and downsides. Let's start with embossing. Embossing stands out. It adds a three-dimensional feel that instantly draws attention. This makes it perfect for branding elements, decorative plates, or control panels where visibility matters. It can even improve grip and give the surface a more premium feel. However, embossing does stretch the metal slightly, so it's not ideal for very thin materials. It may also require precise alignment to avoid warping or distortion, especially on large panels. Now, debossing. Debossing gives a more subtle and elegant finish. Because the design sinks inward, it's protected from scratches or wear, making it ideal for industrial tags, nameplates, or serial markings that must remain legible over time. But there's a trade-off. Recessed designs can collect dust or paint residue if not properly cleaned or finished. And if you need the mark to stand out visually, debossing may not provide enough contrast unless it's filled or colored afterward. So one grabs attention with texture and shine, the other offers durability and subtlety. The right choice depends on what you value more. Alright, so how do you decide between embossing and debossing for your next project? Let's break it down logically. First, function. Ask yourself what the finish needs to do. If you want a tactile, standout logo or decorative effect, embossing is your go-to. It literally elevates the design. But if you're after a professional, understated marking, something like a serial code, plate number, or logo that won't wear off, debossing is usually the smarter choice. Second, material and thickness. Embossing works best on ductile metals like aluminum, brass, or copper because they can stretch slightly without cracking. Thicker or harder materials might not form raised patterns easily. Debossing, on the other hand, applies well to a wider range of metals and thicknesses because the surface is being compressed, not stretched. Third, volume and production scale. For large production runs, both processes can be cost-effective. However, embossing dies usually require more setup precision. If you're working on prototypes or short runs, debossing can be faster to implement and easier to control. Finally, budget. Because embossing involves precise alignment and more complex dies, it can cost slightly more. Debossing generally has simpler tooling and may save on post-finishing costs. So if you're balancing aesthetics with efficiency, debossing often wins in terms of overall economy. So to choose between debossing or embossing, it really comes down to your part's purpose, the look you want, and the conditions it'll face. Both are excellent ways to add personality and functionality to metal surfaces. It's just a matter of choosing the right direction, up or down. And if you're ready to bring your design to life, check out RapidDirect's manufacturing and finishing services. From CNC machining to precision sheet metal forming and surface finishes like embossing, debossing, and anodizing, RapidDirect helps you turn your idea into reality with professional results and quick turnaround. And if you found this breakdown helpful, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe for more quick insights on metal finishing and manufacturing. Thanks for watching.